After the age of 40, many people begin to notice changes in their body that feel subtle at first, but become impossible to ignore over time. Energy becomes less stable across the day. Hunger appears more suddenly. Afternoon fatigue becomes more common. Weight becomes easier to gain even when eating the same foods. Sleep feels lighter, and cravings can feel stronger than they did years ago. Many people assume these shifts are simply getting older, but one of the most important hidden drivers behind these changes is blood sugar instability. The surprising truth is that blood sugar spikes after 40 are not only about eating sugar. They are about how the entire metabolic system changes with age. Even people who rarely eat desserts can experience sharper glucose rises after meals, followed by crashes that affect mood, energy, and appetite. Blood sugar is one of the body's most central signals. It influences hormones, inflammation, brain function, fat storage, and long-term aging. Understanding why blood sugar becomes less stable after 40 is one of the most powerful steps toward healthier aging. The first reason is muscle decline. Muscle is not only for strength or appearance. Muscle is one of the body's primary glucose storage tissues. When you eat carbohydrates, glucose enters the bloodstream. The body needs to move that glucose into cells to be used as energy. Muscle tissue is one of the main places where glucose is absorbed. But after 40, most adults gradually lose muscle mass unless they actively maintain it. This means the body has less capacity to buffer glucose. The same meal that caused a moderate rise at age 25 may cause a higher spike at age 45 simply because there is less muscle available to absorb it efficiently. This is why preserving muscle is deeply connected to metabolic health. Another reason is insulin sensitivity. Insulin is a hormone that helps glucose enter cells. Over time, the body often becomes less responsive to insulin. This is sometimes called insulin resistance, and it can exist long before any diagnosis. It means the body must produce more insulin to achieve the same effect. After 40, this becomes more common due to lifestyle, stress, sleep disruption, and changes in body composition. When insulin sensitivity declines, glucose stays in the bloodstream longer, creating higher peaks and deeper crashes. These fluctuations can drive hunger, fatigue, and inflammation even in people who believe they eat healthy. Stress hormones play a major role as well. Cortisol is the body's primary stress hormone, and cortisol directly raises blood sugar. The body does this because stress is interpreted as a survival signal. When cortisol rises, the liver releases glucose into the bloodstream to provide immediate fuel. This was useful in ancient environments, but in modern life, stress is often psychological and constant rather than physical and temporary. Many adults after 40 live with chronic low-grade stress from responsibilities, work pressure, and mental overload. Even if you do not feel anxious, your nervous system may remain slightly activated. This keeps cortisol higher than it should be, which keeps glucose less stable. Blood sugar spikes can occur even without sugar because stress chemistry is pushing glucose upward from within. Sleep is another major factor. Even mild sleep disruption reduces insulin sensitivity the next day. After 40, sleep becomes lighter for many people, with more awakenings and less deep restorative sleep. Poor sleep increases hunger hormones, decreases satiety hormones, and makes the body more prone to glucose swings. This creates a loop where unstable blood sugar worsens sleep, and poor sleep worsens blood sugar. Meal timing matters more with age. Many adults eat late dinners, snack into the evening, or graze throughout the day. Constant eating means glucose is constantly being processed, and the body has less time to return to baseline. After 40, the metabolic system often benefits from clearer meal boundaries and longer overnight recovery windows. Ultra-processed foods also contribute strongly to spikes, even when they are not sweet. Many people think only candy raises blood sugar, but refined carbohydrates such as white bread, crackers, chips, certain cereals, and even some sauces can cause rapid glucose rises. These foods digest quickly, delivering glucose into bloodstream faster than the body can handle smoothly. The result is a sharp spike followed by a crash. The crash is often when people feel shaky, irritable, tired, or suddenly hungry again. This is not a lack of willpower. It is physiology. Another overlooked factor is that digestion speed changes with age. The gut microbiome shifts, motility slows, and the way carbohydrates are processed can change. Alcohol also affects glucose regulation. Even moderate alcohol can disrupt liver metabolism and worsen nighttime blood sugar stability. Caffeine timing matters too. Caffeine increases cortisol for many people, and after 40, caffeine sensitivity often increases. A coffee in the afternoon may affect sleep, which then affects glucose the next day. Over time, repeated glucose spikes create metabolic stress. They increase oxidative damage, promote inflammation, and accelerate biological aging. Stable blood sugar is one of the most powerful longevity levers after midlife because it affects nearly every system: brain clarity, mood stability, fat storage, cardiovascular health, and energy regulation. The goal is not to fear carbohydrates or obsess over numbers. The goal is to understand that after 40, the body becomes more sensitive and small habits matter more. In part 2, we will explore the most effective natural routines to reduce spikes, stabilize energy, and support long-term metabolic health without extreme dieting or complicated rules. Now that we understand why blood sugar becomes less stable after 40, the most important question is practical. What actually works to reduce spikes, stabilize energy, and support longevity without living in fear of food? The good news is that blood sugar stability is not built through perfection. It is built through a few consistent habits that work with the body's biology. The first and most powerful habit is meal balance. After 40, the body responds better when carbohydrates are not eaten alone. When you eat carbs by themselves, glucose enters the bloodstream quickly. But when carbohydrates are paired with protein, fiber, and healthy fats, digestion slows down, glucose rises more gradually, and the spike becomes smaller. This does not require eliminating carbs. It requires structure. For example, adding eggs, yogurt, fish, or legumes alongside carbohydrates can change the entire glucose curve. Fiber from vegetables, oats, beans, or fruit also slows absorption. Healthy fats from olive oil, nuts, or avocado increase satiety and reduce rapid glucose entry. The goal is not restriction, it is smoother digestion. The second habit is post-meal movement. This is one of the most underrated metabolic tools after midlife. A short 10 to 15-minute walk after eating helps muscles absorb glucose immediately. Muscles act like glucose sponges, and movement opens cellular pathways that reduce the need for high insulin release. This is not exercise for burning calories. It is movement for metabolic signaling. Even gentle walking can dramatically reduce the peak after meals. Over time, this habit improves insulin sensitivity and lowers inflammatory burden. The third habit is strength training. Muscle preservation is one of the most important metabolic protections after 40. Strength training increases muscle mass and improves glucose storage capacity. You do not need extreme workouts. 2 or 3 short sessions per week of basic resistance movements can significantly improve insulin sensitivity. Muscle is not vanity. Muscle is metabolic health. The fourth habit is meal timing and evening boundaries. Late night snacking keeps glucose elevated into the hours when the body should be repairing. After 40, many people benefit from earlier dinners and fewer calories close to bedtime. This gives the body time to return to baseline overnight. A longer overnight fasting window, even by 1 or 2 hours, can improve morning glucose stability. The fifth habit is reducing ultra-processed foods. Ultra-processed carbohydrates digest rapidly and create sharp spikes. Replacing them with whole food versions creates smoother curves. Whole grains, legumes, vegetables, and minimally processed foods are absorbed more slowly and support microbiome health. This does not mean never enjoying treats. It means building the foundation on foods that stabilize rather than spike. The sixth habit is stress regulation. Cortisol-driven glucose release is one of the biggest hidden causes of spikes after 40. Many people focus only on diet while ignoring stress chemistry. Simple daily calming practices can lower baseline cortisol and improve glucose stability. This can be as small as slow breathing, evening downshifts time outdoors, or reducing constant stimulation. The nervous system and metabolism are not separate. A calmer nervous system creates a calmer glucose curve. The seventh habit is sleep protection. Sleep is a metabolic regulator. Poor sleep reduces insulin sensitivity, increases cravings, and raises hunger hormones the next day. After 40, protecting sleep quality becomes one of the most effective blood sugar strategies. This does not require perfect sleep. It requires consistent timing, lower evening stimulation, and a supportive environment. The eighth habit is smarter breakfast composition. Many adults start the day with refined carbohydrates alone, which causes an early spike and sets the tone for cravings later. A protein-forward breakfast often creates steadier energy throughout the day. The ninth habit is awareness of hidden sugars and refined carbs. Blood sugar spikes are not only caused by desserts. They can come from bread, crackers, sweetened drinks, flavored yogurts, sauces, and processed snacks. Simply noticing these sources helps reduce unexpected swings. The 10th habit is consistency over intensity. The body adapts to repeated signals. Stable blood sugar is not achieved by one perfect day. It is achieved by small daily rhythms that the body can trust. When glucose becomes more stable, energy becomes smoother, cravings decrease, mood becomes steadier, inflammation lowers, and aging slows. Blood sugar is not just about diabetes. It is about longevity. It is about how much metabolic stress the body carries every day. After 40, the goal is not to become obsessive. The goal is to become stable. Balanced meals, gentle movement, strength signals, earlier evenings, lower stress, and better sleep form a simple system that protects metabolism naturally. Over months, the body becomes more resilient. The spikes soften, the crashes fade, and you begin to feel the kind of steady energy that many people assume is gone after midlife. It is not gone. It is simply waiting for the right signals.